The top stories. New health records system by Haramaya University aims to improve medical decisions. And young Africans urge developers to step up climate financing. Hello and welcome to EBC World, the voice of Pan-Africanism, and thank you for watching us with the news. I'm Shifara Olako. Now, Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed's interview on his forthcoming book, The Madamar State, will air tonight at 8:30 p.m. local time. In the interview, the Prime Minister outlines the central ideas of the book and their connection to Ethiopia's state building and ongoing reform efforts. The Madamar State is the fourth installment in his Madamar series, following Madamar, Madamar Journey, and Generation Madamar. The new volume deepens his philosophy of synergy, unity, and collective progress as foundations for Ethiopia's transformation. The interview will be broadcast on EBC channels and streamed live on .stream social media platforms as well. Haramaya University says it has developed and disseminated electronic medical record EMR, which will help decision-making at any level in the health sector. Through the university's intervention, 90% of health facilities, which were at emerging level, have now transformed into candidate and model levels. Sintayo Tamrat reports.
Haramaya University, which has been recognized as Center of Excellence in 2025, has been undertaking various researches that can tackle community problems. One such research area is community health. The university, in collaboration with the Federal Ministry of Health, has developed an electronic medical record system, or EMR, and disseminated it to the health facilities in Harare, Dire and Somali regions. The university's Director of Capacity Building and Mentorship Program, Talaun Shifara, told ABC World.
EMR is actually, it is electronic medical record system. When I'm saying electronic medical record system, it is all about automating or digitizing the patient level information. Okay, so in this process, as Haramaya University, we built a center of, an innovation lab in this area. This innovation lab is mainly service these three regions. But collecting the health data by itself is not meaningful unless we use that data for information. So what we are doing recently is we are converting the data to the information.
The electronic medical record is of paramount importance for decision-making at any level of the health service hierarchy, according to the director.
For example, at clinical level, the medical doctor, for making any patient decision, the medical doctor needs the past history of the patient data. So if the past history of the patient data, if properly organized and prepared in a way to support the clinician or the medical doctor, he can use that data. The same is true for planning, say for example, for health-related planning. So that what we are doing is, we are designed and developed a system that helps, say, physicians, medical doctors or policymakers or hospital managers to use or to visualize the insights from the data. So that is mainly what our system is designed for.
Talaun also mentioned that the university has been working on capacity building and mentorship program to enhance the health information system in the three regions. And through the university's intervention, over 90% of the health facilities transformed their level into candidate and model levels.
When we started this program, almost 90% of the health facilities level was, at emerging level. Emerging level means, the Ethiopian Ministry of Health has its own standard to evaluate the health facilities, which is emerging, the least level, then candidate, the middle level, and the model is the high level of health information system. At the beginning of this project, as I said, 90% of health facilities in all these three regions are at emerging level. But after our interventions, these days, there is no emerging facilities in our working setting. Most of our facilities are, near to 60% of our facilities are high candidates, and the rest of our facilities are the model.
Haromaya University, in collaboration with the Ethiopian diaspora and organizations like Project CURE and LAMIF Relief and Development, has successfully delivered medical equipment and supplies worth 1.8 billion birr to hospitals in several regions in the country.
በክረምት ከምንጮታቸው ጨዋታዎች ብይ የቡዬ ግርፍ ግን ለየት ይላል። የቡዬ ግርፍ ክረምት ሲመጣ ከምንወደው አንዱ ጨዋታ ነው። ችቦን የምንፈልገው ሄደን ተጋርፈን ካሸነፍንም ከተሸነፍንም የምናበራው ነው። ያው ኮያውዬ በፊት ችቦን ጋበራን በኋላ ወያውዬ እንላለን።
ከበድ የሚል ግርፍ ሰውነት እንኳን ቢጎል መካሰስ መዋቀስ የለም የፍቅር ነው።
Now, in connection to the video that you've just seen, the rainy season fades and brighter days begin. Ethiopia lights up with Buhe, a vibrant Orthodox celebration marking the transfiguration of Jesus on Mount Tabor, and filling August 19th with song, fire, and tradition. In the glow of Buhe's bonfires and the rhythm of its songs, young voices rise not just in celebration, but in reverence. This cherished tradition honors Ethiopia's elders as children sing praises, the details of which our staff reporter Jerusalem Batzia captures in the following piece.
Buhe is also a tradition where young people are reminded to value older generations. These songs are written and performed in praise of adults and elders. But over time, the tradition of Buhe has struggled to stay alive, especially in urban locations like Addis Ababa a city undergoing its own transformation as the capital of one of Africa's fastest growing economies. This event has a special place and value for Ethiopians across the country, which is warmly commemorated based on the biblical story. People of the neighborhood tie a bundle of sticks together to make a chipo and set it on fire while singing songs. The main song is called Hoya Hoye, with one singer singing while the others follow in a rhythmic way. For weeks in August, Ethiopian boys dress up and perform songs from door to door in neighborhoods across the country. In return, the boys get mulmul or buhe, bread freshly baked for the occasion in each house.
And now moving to other stories, climate change is arguably one of the greatest challenges facing humanity in the 21st century. Its impacts have significantly altered the natural world and affected global economic performance and human well-being, with Africa projected to be impacted significantly more than other parts of the globe. Youth representatives from various African countries have called on the rich countries to deliver on their climate finance promises. Tigist Ernisa has the following report.
Changes in climate will bring an increase in the frequency and intensity of extreme weather events such as droughts and flooding. These impacts can reduce socio-economic development at the community and household levels. Approached by EBC World, the youth representatives from various African countries urged that it is high time for developed nations to boost climate financing.
My recommendation for the developed countries would be to implement the policies that have been stated about climate justice and climate finance.
Well, definitely they should provide more finance, leveraging the financing for such climate change movements and initiatives should definitely be the main target for these developed countries. As per mentioned in the COP29, that $300 billion should be prepared and by the developed countries and given to the developing countries so that they could fight and make a big difference in the climate change issues in Africa.
They have to contribute in this green climate contribution, mostly in greening for sustainable development. So they can integrate also the participation of the young people, mostly the youth, in the leadership. So in the technology, also in the advancement of the knowledge, mostly in the youth capacity building. So they eradicate and can bring the innovative ideas for this climate change. So they have to contribute mostly to open the door for this climate financing.
Okay, the developed countries, they are the ones who contribute the most of the carbon dioxide. And the African, which has the highest number of developing countries, they contribute less than 40% of carbon emissions, but they are the most suffering. So what can be done by the developed countries, it is to assist the developing countries to adapt to the climate change. Maybe they can support green jobs. They can continue giving the climate financing to support the smart agriculture, to help in drilling the wells and so on. We have an issue of pollution and cutting of trees, and all these trees that have been cut, they have been taken to the developed countries. So it is a high time the developed countries to come down to the developing countries and help with them.
They further highlighted that young Africans can also play a pivotal role in climate change mitigations.
I would recommend African youth. There are so many youth associations working in Africa, specifically in climate change. So I would want them to stand up and to be part of the decision making, and also to participate in the upcoming COPs, and to make sure that their voice is heard?
I think what the youth have been doing is definitely great. I think they should be provided with more financing and more spaces, open spaces to work, and they should be here in bigger parliaments, you know, and bigger discussion groups in their respected countries, and so that they could develop more innovative youth-led solutions regarding the climate change issues.
Young people, they should advocate and work hand in hand with the organizations. They should also participate and make their voice heard worldwide, not only in Africa. And they should also contribute to community projects and being good citizens to their country by protecting their lands and protecting their country's well-being as well.
From South Sudan, I don't know if you check the media, we are suffering from the flood. I think if you check, you can see nearly 1 million people have been displaced last year because of the flood. You know, homes has been destroyed, schools, farmlands. So today's conference is really as an important thing for me personally as a South Sudanese, because I really want to adapt the same what I'm getting from this conference today, take it back home. Although I'm going to do through the conference, teaching people so that we can involve the challenge that we have, the crisis that we have, so that the future generation will not face the same consequence today. So youth has a bigger role in this continent, in our different countries, for the betterment of our country and for betterment of Africa.
A recent study estimates that damage from climate change globally to farming, infrastructure, productivity, and health will cost an estimated $38 trillion per year by 2050.
And finally, political analyst and former diplomat Brook Hailubisha says Ethiopia's demand for access to the sea is gaining momentum on the global stage, as various powerful nations are showing growing interest in the Horn of Africa and the Red Sea. Eastern African nations must work together, he has stressed. Gushumelis was more on that from the Ethiopia News Agency.
The Horn of Africa and the Red Sea have become a strategic hotspot where major global and regional powers are contesting for influence. The United States, China, and Russia are expanding their presence through military bases and economic projects. Gulf nations such as Saudi Arabia, the United Arab Emirates, and Qatar are also investing heavily, seeking to secure maritime routes and political leverage. Senior political analyst and former diplomat Brook Hailu, speaking to the Ethiopian News Agency, addressed the geopolitical tensions in the region. He said Ethiopia has a historical right to access the sea, adding that the country is not unique in seeking such an outlet and should not remain landlocked. Brook recalled that Ethiopia's demand for sea access is not new, but a long-standing national interest.
Ethiopia is landlocked in the last 34 years. Before that, we had our own marine forces. Going back to thousands of years, you know, medieval period before that, before Christ, you know, and after it, the Aksumite Empire, part of Ethiopia, and this and that. So Ethiopia is not a new member of the Red Sea.
Yes.
Our sailors are known not only in the Red Sea, all the way to Egypt, way down to Bab el-Mandeb, South Bab el-Mandeb, the Gulf of Aden, on Socotra, the Puntland area, the Bosaso area, and all these areas.
Brook underscored that Ethiopia's demand for access to the sea is gaining recognition on the global stage.
Our sailors, our ships used to engage in commerce, trade, you know, the movement of goods and services and ships for centuries and centuries. So it's not a country that was always landlocked. So coming back, the history supports us. And the law of the international law of the seas, UNCLOS, supports us. It says no, Article 69, 21, 124, 125, 26, 27, they support landlocked countries. Landlocked countries have the right to have access to the sea. And that's what we are asking. Ethiopia's plea is getting a regional as well as an African response, as well as an international response, all the way to the United Nations. So this cannot be stopped, and the momentum is continuing.
He reiterated that the regional bloc IGAD must act to ensure peace and stability in East Africa.
These 8 countries that compose IGAD, some of them are not yet stable. Ethiopia, as a good neighbor, was and still is involved in peacekeeping missions to assist our brothers the Somali brothers. That will bring us to the peacekeeping mission. ATMIS, and AMISOM, ATMIS, and OSOM now. To this day, Ethiopia is paying heavily in loss of lives, blood and everything, in Somalia, playing a stabilizing role. So that is one thing that is done by and through IGAD. That's how I want to tie it this way. IGAD plays a role in peace and security in South Sudan, in Sudan. Of course, next to, besides IGAD is the African Union, let's not forget.
Yes.
Before it, the OAU, of course, let's not forget it, So, but the critical role is also played by IGAD.
Amid rising geopolitical tensions in the East Africa region, Brooks stressed that cooperation among neighboring countries is the only way to ensure stability and shared prosperity.
Well, dear viewers, you have been watching EBC World, the voice of Pan-Africanism. Now a quick recap of the top stories. New health records system by Haramaya University aims to improve medical decisions. And young Africans urge developed countries to step up climate financing. And with that, we come to the end of today's news. Many thanks for watching us. Bye-bye.